live from Toasty, California. My Alexa says it's 102 currently. I don't believe it because today feels like the hottest day ever that we've felt, but we've had temperatures as high as 118 already this summer, and that day did not feel near as hot as it does today. Maybe it's the humidity. Maybe the humidity's cranked up today. Anywho, just got me wondering now. Let me check it out. Okay, current temperature in Bakersfield is 105. Only 22% humidity. Oh well, this must be one of those days. All right, guys, thank you for coming in and watching today. Appreciate you guys being here. Um, as always, I'm going to ask you guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the sub button there, and smash it hard. I think we picked up 7 or 8 new people from Wednesday night's podcast. So I appreciate the newbies. Thank you for joining. If you're listening again tonight, you should be getting notification that we're on the air live. Then also while you're here, hit the like button while you're here. Don't forget to comment live tonight. Comment live and ask questions, and we're just going to have a good time tonight. I don't know how long this podcast will last. It'll depend on you guys who come on here live. Okay, so on tonight's agenda, I want to talk a little bit about the basketball schedules. We're going to talk about the fever game real quick, because I mean, that almost seems to be a big thing now. We're going to have a little football news, and if possible, if I hear any baseball news on Brody Breck getting drafted while we're live, because I believe the draft is just getting underway live right now. So if I hear any news, or if you hear any news, let's get it out there. Who got him and where he's going? Okay, so first let's just start with the fever game. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Okay, Caitlin started out slow, but she did end up with 17 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. Not one of her finest games, but she did have a decent game and basically just showed what she could do for the team. She came on strong I believe she had 7 points in the first half, nothing in the third quarter, so that means she had 10 points. 10 points in the fourth quarter alone. So she had the wake up call. She did. The Fever upset the Minnesota Lynx 81-74. I believe it was 74. I have an incomplete score here, but I believe it was 81-74. And that moves their record to 11-14. I believe they're in 7th in the playoff standings. So with about 15 games to go. So congratulations to Caitlin, her teammates, and the rest of the Fever for a nice upset win. You guys have gotten a couple of decent wins. And so I think the second half of the season will be great for you. I think you got one more game before you go on break, and then you get a month off. Okay, so let's talk a little football news first, and then we can talk anything you guys want after I get going with the basketball schedules. So last week I predicted Higgins and Lachey, along with Cade McNamara, would be the people going as the player representatives to media days on July 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I still don't know which day Iowa will be going, but with 18 teams, I'm presuming that they're going 6 teams each day, would be my guess. Okay. And so, but I was a little wrong. I got Higgins and Lachey right. Quinn Schulte is the other guy that they're going to use. I think those are good picks. Quinn Schulte's, I think, has been around for 6 years now. I think he's a 6-year man. Okay. Higgins has been picked by Walter Camp, the Walter Camp preseason first team All-American. So congratulations to Higgins. Along with that, though, Athlon has picked Nick Jackson to be a second team All-American. Logan Jones to be third team All-American. Sebastian Castro as fourth team All-American. Oh yeah, and Higgins a first team All-American, also from Athlon. So big year coming for Higgins, right? Okay. So let's get right to it. We want to talk a little basketball skid. I got baseball on my mind because of the draft going on right now, guys. Let me check this message real quick. Okay. So hopefully that person's watching that just sent me a message that he's doing his cardio. So he's probably got his phone propped up watching me. I expect you to go hard, ride that bike hard, whatever you're doing. Okay. So the basketball, let's do the men's first. Okay. I do not know if this is complete because they have not listed it yet in the official Hawkeye Sports Athletic website yet. Um, so let's talk about. You're going to see on here a lot of our non-conference games are going to begin, which I'm going to call Sisters of the Poor. But this year, and I guess it was previous years too, but you do not get punished for playing these Sisters of the Poor teams anymore, as long as you win and you win quite easily. Like a big score, like a big blowout score. What happens is you get punished in the net ranking if you lose to one of these teams. So teams are switching their mind thinking now. Their mind thinking to schedule more of these teams. But I don't know if I got these in order. I do not have these in order. These are just the order that they came up to me. We have Rider University with a 220 net. That's supposed to be on 11/19. We have Southern, the no net listed on 11/14. Texas A&M is on our schedule, but I don't have any information, date, or any time with that. So that's quite interesting. Okay. Iowa State is on December 12th. 6 net, but I think you guys expected that. Iowa State's got a pretty darn good team. University of New Orleans on 12/15 with a 340 net. So that's kind of, let's see, that should be an easy win. We get a return game with Utah. Remember, guys, we lost to Utah in the second round of the NIT last year. They were quite fast, quite athletic, and quite big, and they had that one dude that we had no answer for him. I can't remember his name. But we get a return engagement with them and Sioux Falls this year on December 21st. Okay. My granddaughter's birthday that day. Okay. She will be 15 this year. Alrighty. No, actually, I'm sorry. That's my grandson's birthday. He will be 15. His sister turns the next day, will turn 15. They're twins, but one was born before midnight and one was born after midnight, so they celebrate separate birthdays. But they'll both be 15. One of the boy on 21st. Okay, New Hampshire comes in with a 230 net rating on December 30th. And then we're going to play a neutral site game. We're going to play Washington State in Moline. But I guess that's earlier in the season. See, I got these backwards. I got all December 1st before I got November. And so we got Moline. In Moline, we got Washington State. I think that will be good for Brock Hardy and Owen Freeman going home to play. I think they should fill up whatever arena they're going to play in. They should fill that puppy up. Hometown boys make good with the Iowa Hawkeyes, and those have a lot of family. We play Utah State on November 22nd in Kansas City. I have no idea why we're playing in Kansas City, guys. That's one I don't even understand. It's one of 3 neutral site games that I figured out. Alrighty. And I don't have a net rating for Utah State or Washington State, guys. I got to learn to read my own hand. Oh, Southern's on November 4th, like I said. Um, that could be just a reason why I don't have any information. That could be what do you call that? A scrimmage game? Scrimmage. Okay. Okay. Texas A&M, like I said before, is November 7th. I didn't have any information, but I guess I did. They have a 333 net ranking, so they might be good in football, but apparently they're not doing too well in basketball. Okay, South Dakota, November 13th, 322 net ranking. South Carolina, upstate. Yeah, South Carolina, upstate. It's not the regular South Carolina guys. Okay, they get a 303 net ranking on November 26th. Okay, and so anyway, on the conference, as you guys know, we play 18 games, but we don't get many home and home. I mean, home and away games with anybody. So the only home and aways we got this year are Nebraska, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. Sure, three teams that have been giving us fits for the last few years. We get those guys. We get to play them twice. Okay, these are our home only games: Indiana, Minnesota, Michigan State, Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, Washington, and our away games are Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, Ohio State, Rutgers, USC, and UCLA. I will say our road games are massive, guys. Massive. When you figure that we have to take on Illinois, I believe they were the Big Ten champions this year and tournament champions. I think they beat Purdue, or maybe Purdue beat them. Um, Michigan, I would expect a bounce back year. I mean, they can't, with the kind of talent they have, they can't stay down forever. Ohio State, who came on strong at the end of the year, so we have to play them on the road. So that's not great. Rutgers is never easy on the road, and UCLA and USC in Los Angeles, yeah, it's going to be tough, guys. Going to be tough. I'd like to see them do that UCLA USC trip in one trip to save some money and time, like maybe do like a Wednesday, Saturday, or a Thursday, Sunday type setup, or even just do Thursday, Saturday. Make one trip out of it so those guys don't have to miss much school. One trip, I think, would be perfect. So yeah, and if you guys remember right, I think it was Oregon that beat us quite easily in the second round of the NCAA a couple of years ago when we really should have been the year we would got to Sweet 16. And so I don't know. Not a lot of you guys live today. I'm sorry to hear that. This podcast might be over before it gets started. Sad, sad, sad. Where are you guys doing? You guys all watching the draft, or what are you guys doing? You guys are usually here. You're usually supporting me. I need you. I need you guys. I need you really bad. Okay. All right. Well, we can always come back if you guys want to touch on that back if you guys come on here live. So here we go. I guess this is not an interesting topic to you guys tonight, and that's fine. This time of year, until we get through the media days and start with fall practice, there's not a lot going on. From what I hear, we're getting into a recruiting dead period and things, and there's just not going to be a lot of news that we're going to hear about. So, um, matter of fact, I believe that they're giving all the athletes the rest of July off. A few weeks in July here. And so the basketball team, I believe, is done, and maybe they're done. The basketball practices end in August 1st, I believe, is what Jan Jensen said. So I would assume that's the same for the men. Okay, so here we go. The women game was a little harder to break down, and I don't have any nets. I don't think we'll see on these. Okay, so their Big Ten schedule. Okay, they have just okay. I made a mistake. The men have 20 games, which is why they got 3 home and away games when you got an 18-team league. But the women only have 18, so they play everybody once except for one team. Can you guys guess in the Big Ten which team we're going to play twice? if you guess Nebraska, you get 5 stars. Yeah, I think the team that we beat in the women beat in the conference title game last year, that gave us fits in that game. The game they beat us early on after having a 15-point lead, and Caitlin had one of her first worst fourth quarters ever. So yeah, that's the same Nebraska team. I would expect it to be a dog shootout or pony two, whatever you want to say. It's going to be another fantastic show. And so hopefully this year's squad is up to the challenge. Okay, so alrighty, so I'm just trying to here. Hang on for a second. Okay, here we go. I'm getting everything mixed up here, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so alrighty. Alrighty. Okay, let's look at the non-conference schedule. Okay. All right. November 10th is the Alley tip-off versus Virginia Tech. Um, they have quite. I think they got like a 33 net. If I remember right, I saw that net earlier, but it's not here right now. November 20th, they play at the Pentagon game in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You guys know that the men will also be there, but a different date. They play Kansas, and Kansas, I think, is I saw somewhere, and hopefully it's in this right here. I'll find out in a minute. But I think their net ranking was pretty low too. November 28th through the 30th, they play in Cancun Challenge. The other teams invited to that are BYU, Rhode Island, Rice, Idaho State, New Mexico. They should be able to make. They should be able to do okay in that game. Honestly, guys. I mean, in those games, I presume they're playing 3 games in 3 days. So I would guess that unless it's just a round robin thing, I would guess that BYU and Iowa would be in the title game. In my personal opinion, a women's championship classic versus they draw Tennessee, which also has a low net ranking in Brooklyn, New York. If you guys remember right, this is also the same tournament that on the other side of the bracket has Connecticut, so we have another shot at Connecticut playing them with Paige Beckers. So I think if each one wins, unless it's just a 1 game thing, it might be just a 1 game thing. I'm just really, guys, I'm sorry. My phone is really acting up, and it's just causing me issues. Okay, so yeah. So we're playing Tennessee. It's just a 1 date, so I guess we don't play Paige Beckers in Connecticut. It's not a tournament. It's just a game against a couple of things. Okay. Here's some other games that we've got. Northern Illinois, 244th in the net. On November 13 versus Toledo, 67 in the net. November 24th versus Washington State, 29th in the net. That's quite interesting that Iowa, both the men and the women, play Washington State this year. Okay. I believe these are all home games. Iowa State, 33rd in the net, which honestly surprises me because they're probably going to come in highly ranked this year. I think the women, I'm glad we're playing that in Carver, but man, I hope this year's team is up to that task of taking down Iowa State yet again. And the date to be announced, Drake is 65th in the net, and Drake is picked to, I believe, in the preseason to win their conference. Okay. In Northern Iowa, there's no date in that yet, and I don't have where is that game? Okay. Date to be announced. All I got is Northern Iowa, guys. So that game will be at home. I don't have their net. So okay, it says. So it says that the non-conference schedule may only have a couple NCAA tournament teams in it. So really, they should probably look pretty good and should handle the non-conference games pretty easily. Um, Virginia Tech. Oh, here we go. Finished 19th. Tennessee was 30th, and Kansas was 38th. So Tennessee and Kansas aren't near as low as I thought they were. So they should give Iowa some problems, but in the long run, I think they're gonna they should be able to handle both those things. Virginia Tech, I believe, is the one that we struggled with in the game at home in the first round of the NCAA, if I'm not mistaken. And so, but I understand that they have a new coach and everything. And so I don't know how many people they left from that last year's team and what they will look like, if they will look any different. Okay. All right. All right. It's just okay. So they're considering Tennessee and Kansas both fringe NCAA tournament teams. I believe Virginia Tech was probably going to be one. Um, so okay, I'm trying to go back and find our Big Ten schedule, guys. Where's that at? Okay, here it. I guess here it is. I guess. Okay, so like I said before, we have home and away against Nebraska. Okay, the only team we meet twice. Okay, at home we got Indiana, Maryland, Northwestern, Purdue, Rutgers, UCLA, USC, and Wisconsin. I think we can handle everybody on that home schedule, and I don't know about UCLA and USC. We probably won't be favored in either of those games, and both those teams will probably be in the top 10. And Juju Watkins will be coming in with USC. She was only she's that hot freshman who was second to Caitlin Clark in scoring this year, and but she looks like she's watching her in the tournament. It looks like she's not going to be consistent. And now that her name is well known and stuff, we'll see how that goes. We'll see if you know people were projecting that in 4 years that on her fourth year that she will be passing Caitlin's records up. We shall see. I'm just thinking that she's not going to be near as consistent as Caitlin was, but again, you never know because this is her sophomore year and anything could happen. But yeah, we probably won't be favored in the USC games. But Maryland, Northwestern, Purdue, Rutgers, Wisconsin, we should get all those games. We go on the road against Illinois, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, or Ohio State. We got them on the road, as you guys know. They give us fits every year too. Oregon. I don't know much about the Oregon women's team, but we have to play them in Oregon. Penn State and Penn State can be in at one time was giving us fits. I don't know if they still are, and I don't know anything about the Washington women's team. Um, so BTN will probably start playing their classic games. I believe on August 1st or August 2nd they're going to start because that's when they officially join the Big Ten. So BTN's going to start playing a lot of their games. And it'd be a good time for us to see what kind of football teams they're going to be bringing and what kind of basketball teams they're going to bring in. I'm sure they're going to have some instant classics to watch. And so, um, yeah, okay. Also, I'm kind of looking to see if there's any news on the draft. As if you guys are watching live, if Brody Breck has been drafted yet in the. I think he was projected a kind of a low first round. Okay, so yeah, a person named Chuck wanted any updates on Epineza. Um, Prediction Machine has him going to Miami on 3 does. We'll see how that goes. He's supposed to be making his choice here publicly pretty soon. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope we get him. Yeah. Yeah, again, he's asking about the thing. Alrighty. I'm just trying to get some questions that were on Facebook earlier. Yeah. Somebody asked earlier today about how important is it for Cooper Koch to add 8 to 10 points per game and about 4 rebounds. This is a guy named Lee. I'm not going to say their last name unless they're on here and they don't care. Um, I think it's going to be important for him to contribute as a freshman. Um, I don't know how much playing time he's going to get because from what I hear, everybody else is just killing it. Um, so we'll see how much playing time he gets. But I think anytime they step onto the floor, any of the men's basketball guys, they've got to be contributing. They can't. This can't be the days of when you get on the floor. Just go out and play defense for a little bit and give your guy a blow, and then once he catches his breath, he's coming back in. Those days are gone. You have to contribute when you get on there. Okay, um, so that's where I'm thinking is that he has to contribute. So just give me a second to go through some more of these because I got plenty of time and nobody's contributing tonight, and I didn't. Uh, all righty, let's just go here. Let's just go down the line. Um, by the way, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but tonight is BTN day all day for Iowa Day. On BTN, it's Iowa Day all day. I found some games I didn't think I had taped before, and so I went and taped some. One of the fun ones was the '93 Iowa victory, where they came from. I think with less than 5 minutes to go in the game, they were down 15 points, and they managed to come back and tie that game up. They were even down 8 points with a minute left to go in the game, and still came back and won that game. I mean, well, they tied it up and sent it to overtime and won 96-90. That is either the first or second game after Chris Street's death that they came back and they played. They played. I can't remember. I know they played Michigan and Michigan State on the road back to back, but I don't remember which one they played first and who they played second. But they won both of those games. Just the emotion. You can see the emotion on there. AC Earl shooting his free throw at the end of the game to secure the victory. You could see tears in his eyes. Tom Davis had tears in his eyes as they finished up that game with a win. Okay. Um, oh yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Peter Jock. Peter Jock is going to be an Olympic qualifier for South Sudan men's basketball team. So I wish him well. I don't know how far they'll go, but I will definitely watch him a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Calvin. Calvin. Yeah, my memory fades, but Calvin's pretty good at remembering this stuff. Michigan State was first on the road, and then they got Michigan second on the road at home. Okay, I thought it was at on the road. I thought back in those days they did those kind of road trips back to back, but you know, I've seen a lot of basketball, and I forget more than I've actually learned. Remember, I know I've forgotten more than I remember. Without Calvin, who has a memory like an elephant, and I mean that in the nicest way, Calvin. Okay. 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 If you're wondering if you had women's season tickets and you're wondering about them, if you haven't heard anything, sign into your account and try to renew them now. But most people have gotten emails to renew them. But I believe you have to August 18th to renew your women's basketball tickets. It sounds like they're going to sell out this year. And how many of you guys out there are going to on Wednesday get the new college football 2025 video game? It's on for PS5 and I believe on the Xbox X and S system. Um, Something like that. I have the Xbox One, so I'm not going to be able to get the game. I was so looking forward to it. Sometimes I just can't believe that they've already quit updating that system for games. And I don't want to go out. I mean, at my age, I don't really want to go out and spend $500-$600 for a PS5 or a new Xbox update. Probably what I'll do is once the dust settles, I'll go out and get the game. Probably cheaper than people are going to pay for it right now, and give it to my grandson because he's got the right system. And I can go over there and play with him. Play the game there. Lee wants to know first game, first possession, first play in scrimmage. Lester calls on offense. Zachary Mitchell says run between the tackles. I went a little further than that. Let's see what else everybody else has. I said, here we go. Where's mine at? Where's my comment at? I'm going to do my comment first. Okay, hand off to Johnson, who follows Mason Richmond's blocking and breaks one for a huge gain. Yeah, I like that. That's mine. But I'm going to give you guys some of the other predictions, okay? On here, what people are looking for the first play from this game. If you guys got a prediction you want to put on there, put it in the comments. I'd appreciate it. All righty. Okay. Quick kick within the 5-yard line so our offense can score the first points of the season. Punting is winning. All right, Trent. Trent likes that. Yeah. Okay. Play action. Don says play action pass to the tight end in the middle of the field. Okay. Matt says run off right tackle. Ed says send man in motion and run off tackle. Somebody says the annexation of Puerto Rico. That's from Kyle. Lee says I'm calling a jet sweep for Caleb. Honestly, I don't know if Caleb would actually run a jet sweep. You might see Weegan do it. Weegan, he might do it. Okay. Donnie puts up a bunch of scribbles on his, and I can't even understand that play, but Lee says that's his favorite play. Okay, Lee says it's a 15 dive sweep left, sluggo post, Omaha, sure, good call. I'm glad you guys are having fun with this on here on that. Just that's what it's all we're this time of year. All we're just doing is having a little fun with it and having fun. And another question for you guys you can answer on here if you want to is, do you think Caitlin Clark has done enough with about 15 games to go to get Rookie of the Year, or do you think the other person, forgetting her name already. I should never forget her name. Angel Reese should get it. And I think it's voted on by the media and sports writers and stuff like that. I think. I'm not sure. But the one thing I do want to say about the whole Caitlin Clark thing is people going after her in games seems to have stopped. In all honesty, I think it has stopped. I think they finally gotten past her being there, and it just seems like she's playing normal games. She's getting double teamed a lot, and the defenders are so much better than they were in the college. But yeah, I think it's good to see that we're just back to playing basketball and we're not back to. So here's a thing I was looking at. Jason put this out. One of my coworkers. The Olympic team, okay? The first 3 people listed are on the Olympic team. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 people listed are on the All-Star team. The next one is an Olympic. Next one's not on either team. Next one's an Olympic. And then you got Angel Reese on the All-Star team. Then the next 3 are Olympic. And then you got the next 3 on the All-Star, and then you got another Olympic person, Kelsey Plum, who's all the way down the list. And then you got a whole bunch of All-Stars spread out. Kayla McBride, Allison Gray, and Brianna Jones. What I find funny is that there are players who are having a better season who didn't make the Olympic team. There are players who are having a better season who didn't make the All-Star team. I believe, and I know it's a fan supported thing. You got two Olympians. Brittany Griner at the very bottom, the very, very, very bottom of the list, and she goes because of her name. You got Diana Taurasi. She's about three-quarters of the way at the bottom of this list, down the list, and she's going to the Olympics. Okay, and so it just goes to show you that there's a lot of politics involved in getting these people going to the Olympics. You know, there are so many people who are having better seasons that could give the better showing. And besides, aren't Trossi and Griner both injured right now? Um, okay. This is probably a good place to end it. You guys are probably bored enough. I tried to keep it going to no avail, but you know, um, I'm gonna have a podcast coming up. Probably sometime next week. It's gonna be a little different than what you guys are used to. We're gonna go into looking at soccer, volleyball, field hockey. Um, because it is gonna be, no football talk for a while. Basketball talk is basically dead. I'm sure you guys have all seen the videos of the women basketball players and the football players and the men's basketball players, all in the interviews that the media did last week. Um, so those would be something for you guys if you have not seen that. Go to Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports on Facebook page, and if you're not a member of that page already, apply to be a member so that you can scroll through and see all the great videos and everything that those guys had to say. There's just so much content there that it would take me forever to go through all those videos. I've watched every single video, but it would just take me forever to go through and take notes on every one of those videos. But there's some good stuff there. You learn some good stuff about people. There's a couple interviews up on my page with Jan Jensen, one with the podcast, and another one where she's just being interviewed on Media Day, the Women's Basketball Media Day last week. And so there's some good stuff that you get, little nuggets from these guys that you don't normally get on regular interviews and stuff. You catch these guys differently, and it's like some of the things they're saying about some of the newcomers. Look out, the men's team's going to be better than I anticipated. The women's team, I don't know where I'm at with that yet. um how I'm expecting those guys to do this year, those ladies I should say. With Lucy, we should be in pretty good shape. I pretty much know in my mind who's starting already. We've already talked about that, but I hear Ava Hayden is Big Ten ready. She's looking like a beast. They're saying that a couple of I think it's Tegan and the other one, I can't remember her first name, Trimlow, are shooting lights out. They're not missing, and they're hitting shot after shot. They say Lucy's not missing anything, and Lucy's at the point where she can just step inside the three and hit a mid-range shot. She's not going to be Caitlin guys this year. She's not going to be sitting out there and shooting threes all over the place. But it's nice to have a point guard who can step inside the circle and hit some mid-range twos. We've got those other girls out there for the threes. They're saying that Sydney is sitting out there hitting some threes and is looking sharp, and she's become their vocal leader. She's become the Kate Martin of the team. Maybe she'll be the glue. Maybe she learned something from Kate, but the key is going to be up here, guys, up here for them this year. Without, they've lost four starters. They've lost four starters. And of course, the news media is saying three because Sydney took over the last 8 games of the season after Molly went down. Okay. And so, but yeah, I know there's some excitement for the women's season to see where we go with this. And the newcomers this year are going to add a lot, and they'll be experienced next year because when they step on the court in the fall of 2025, a lot of them will be starting because a lot of these other girls will be gone. Lucy will be gone. So we'll see um, how that goes. But anyway, guys, I think this is a good place to leave it. It's different kind of a podcast tonight. Awful quiet one as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, the Fever played a pretty good game. I kind of thought there in the third though they got off to a really slow start, but they got themselves back in the game and just kept going. Um, so yeah, guys, I appreciate you watching. As always, hit that like button if you're currently watching. Um, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Uh, share this, comment. If you're watching the replay, still comment. I always come back and get the comments. Um, so let's do that. So anyhow, I really appreciate you guys who are here. Just help me get some more subscribers. Let's go forward. Let's go. Yay, 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 yay. And you know, the next podcast we'll definitely talk about where Brody Breck ended up in the should be Wednesday night, but we'll talk about where he ended up in the draft and if any other Hawkeyes. I believe there's a current high school kid, I think in the Des Moines metro area. I want to say Johnston or Waukee, somewhere in there, who has a chance to get drafted right out of high school. So he has to make a decision because I can't think of his name, but he's committed to the Hawkeyes. So just like Brody Breck, he's got to make a decision whether he wants to finish his college or do some college and then get redrafted later, or leave for the baseball now. I can't think of his name though. It was yesterday was the first time I heard about it, and so anyhow, the heat's getting to me, guys. So I'm gonna get out of here. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and we shall talk to you on Wednesday night. If there is any more football news, I'll cover it on Wednesday night. And if it's a huge breaking news, like somebody got arrested or something, then we'll do what we call an emergency podcast. Won't be long, but we'll get on here and we'll talk about it. Okay. Also, before one more thing before I leave, I saved it till the end because it's a very political one. But whether you're a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter, I just want to say there's no there's no reason for violence. Even if you're a Biden supporter, there's no reason to take aim at somebody and go after them and try to assassinate them. Um, this is very sad day. It seems like we're become a very divisive country since 2016 on this stand. Um, it just seems different than it used to be, and to me it goes back to 2016, and so um, it just bothers me a whole lot. I mean, honestly, don't settle things with guns. Settle them in the poll. If you're not happy with somebody, go to the poll and vote against them. If you're happy with somebody, go to the poll and vote for them. But what happened is a tragedy, and a man lost his life and two other people are in critical condition, you know. I just can't think of the violence that's gone on. It's just I can't deal with that anymore. It's just thing. I just don't know what to say. I didn't want to turn this into a political thing, so I won't. I'm not even going to tell you guys where I stand, political wise. But and most of you who know me well enough probably can figure it out. But it's just as Hawkeye 2017 says, sad, cruel world we live in. It's a very divisive world right now, and a very divisive country. And um, it's just sad right now. Right now, I think everybody, Democrat and all, I think everybody just needs to, go to prayer and thank God that this didn't um, didn't result in a worse uh, result, because who knew a half an inch difference could have made a difference between life and death on this guy. And so I never want to see this. I've watched as many assassinations and some assassination attempts over my years. I've been around long enough to see them all, and honestly, that's just I just never really thought that we could ever do that again, and but I guess I was wrong. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get too involved in it because this is a Hawkeye show anyway. And so I appreciate you guys watching, and um if you haven't watched, if you're watching now and you didn't see the beginning, just go back and watch the replay at the beginning. I'm going to go watch me some Hawkeye reruns on BTN, and enjoy the memories. Okay. Okay, Jerry has something to say. Mhm. Yeah. When you have political zealots that take things literally, you can't put out the bullseye rhetoric. Yeah. I guess Biden had said something about putting a bullseye on his back. After I got thinking about that, I had posted that, and I took it off. I took it off. I got lot of people angry with me over it, and I just decided to take it off because honestly, I felt like I was contributing to the same stuff. I was contributing to the same stuff that other people are. I heard one Democrat say, "Too bad they missed." Oh my gosh, guys, guys, guys! Those are the type of people that scare me. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And if you missed any part of this, just go back and watch it from the beginning. Um, so I appreciate you guys watching. Take care.